contributions you've made to practice and training of pharmacy in the country. And then from there, we can go to what you would like to, what you see as your main, so there you highlight your main contribution, what your main contribution is, and what changes you would like to see to be made in the industry to make for the better. And then maybe also we'll come back at the end, we'll come back and we'll focus on what specifically you want to be remembered for and what you wish you could have done more, if there's anything you wish you could have done more. And then now tribute to the university, just congratulate them for reaching 50 years and highlight what could be done better and your vision of what pharmacy in the next 50 years is for the next generation to take up. And
50 years?
Yes, 50 years. We have come from 50 years now. The next 50 years, what is your vision?
Okay, sawa. Tutakuja kusema.
Sawa.
Yes.
But that's a general flow of the interview.
Okay, thank you.
Sawa. Mic check. Yes.
Check whether it is okay.
Yes. Yes, it seems like it's fine.
I'm going to clap so that we start. After I clap, we start the recording.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So my name is Barongo, and we are with Ogita Productions, and today we are going to be, we're compiling a documentary of the development of the practice and training of pharmacy in Kenya. And so we are glad that you have found the time to join us here today. And just as an introduction, kindly let us know your name. Let us know when you studied pharmacy, when and where. If you studied in the country, if you studied abroad, and also let us know how you got into the practice. Did you practice as in industry or any other sector? But yes, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Dr. Atebe. I'm a fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya. I hold an Industrial Pharmacy Master of Pharmacy degree from the University of Nairobi. And I also hold a bachelor's degree from the same university, University of Nairobi. So I can say I'm a double alumnus of the University of Nairobi. Well, for me to come to study pharmacy as a decision, I was inspired by my grandmother, Mora. She was actually a medicine woman. She used to treat people with herbs. And in fact, the research project that I carried out at the University of Nairobi during my 4th year was on a herb which she had given me. A herb that he used to use for treating certain ailments, which I won't really give full details this afternoon. Well, that is the inspiration that got me there. So I studied at the University of Nairobi, went out after graduating with Bachelor of Pharmacy, and worked with the government for 2 years, and then came back to the industry. And then after 28 years, I went to do my master's program. Well, something which was very unique for me at the University of Nairobi was more to do with student politics. As a class rep, I had opportunity to lead the Nairobi University Pharmacy Students Association, but I elected not to do that. Instead, I went to lead the umbrella organization where I vied for the vice chairman, and I got that position. And you can imagine, I was fighting against MBCHB students, dental students, nursing students, and pharmacy students who were very skeptical about my ambitions. But through that kind of process, I managed to bring together the 4 programs which were there at the University of Nairobi Medical School at that time. And we worked together, and I managed to win a place for the final year students at the blocks. The blocks were the prestigious hostels for the seniors to stay, which were reserved up to that moment for medical students and dental students. But by going to the umbrella organization, I managed to put the case forward by staying within and sorting out issues from within the organization rather than making noise from outside. So that is something which I remember very vividly, and it tended to inform most of my decisions in the future of the profession.
Okay, thank you very much. Now getting into practice, what positions of influence have you held in the various sectors of practice that you have engaged in, and how have they contributed to in building pharmacy training and practice?
Yeah, well, I think I graduated from the University of Nairobi as a generalist. Bachelor of Pharmacy, University of Nairobi is a general degree based on science and the medical profession as well. When I came out, I went to work as the pharmacist in charge at Nyamira Sub-District Hospital at that time. That is quite some time back, some 40 years ago. And I worked well, and I remember one of the, trainers of pharmaceutical technologies at KMTC coming to Nyamira. She went inside, the pharmacy looked at the store, the way I had set it up, and she's commented, that is Dr. Elizabeth Ogaja, probably you will have a chance to talk to her. She commented that this is really the best organized pharmacy I've seen in the country for a public institution. And that is about 39 years ago. And I still remember those words up to this moment. Well, that is what I did at that time, to be a center of excellence where I worked, within the pharmacy itself, within the hospital itself. Now, that informed most of what I did later in life. When I joined the industry, 2 years after that, I rose. Of course, I entered as a mid-level executive and rose to position. The highest position I ever got is general manager of the then Dawa Limited. As a startup general manager, I managed to, revive a collapsed organization, together, of course, with the entrepreneurs who were working there at that time as well, into one of the most vibrant organizations employing more than 300 people by 2007, the time I left. Now, I returned there 20 years later, and it had also transformed tremendously. So you can see that setting up an organization, putting your job on the line and leaving a well-paying job to go to somewhere where perhaps you wouldn't want to work in an empty space where you don't see any production, machines are not working, everything is collapsed, but still you make a decision to go there and revive it. Why? Because there are people who are going to benefit. The same thing repeated much later. I left a well-paying job within the pharmaceutical industry and went into Kisii University, which did not have a program for me to teach. And as I went, people were asking, what are you going to teach? There is no job for you. Well, Genesis 1:26, let us create man in our image, after our likeness. If you are created in the image of God, He has given you also the ability to create something where it doesn't exist. So I went about creating the Bachelor of Pharmacy program at Kisii University. Now it is there. It is in third year. So something good arose out of one position that I took. Of course, I've occupied other positions apart from the employment space in the pharmaceutical industry, in the profession. I've been chair, not once, but 2 alternate terms. At a most turbulent time, when we had the structural adjustment programs of the World Bank and IMF. And this is the time when people mistakenly understood the structural adjustment programs to mean that they could import. The market has been liberalized, so you import medicines in briefcases and so on. Unfortunately, and sometimes I find it very difficult to say, I have to take action on my colleagues who are already sitting on the board, Pharmacy and Poisons Board, for their inaction to control the industry. Now, later on, of course, I also occupied a position at the Pharmacy and Poisons Board when there was a lot of acrimony. And I can say without fear of contradiction that it is during that time that industrial peace came. There used to be a lot of quarrels between the importers and the multinational corporations. But then we said, let's have rules and regulations for parallel importation so that those who would like to invoke the public health safeguards that are provided for under the World Trade Organization, trade-related aspects of industrial property rights, intellectual property rights, can actually exercise international exhaustion rights and import products into this country at lower prices, at more competitive prices. And of course, then that brought some industrial peace. Now, later on, I became chairman of the Pharmacy and Poisons Board as well. And perhaps I should not talk too much about that. I've been a chairman of, a member of the board at KEMSA. And there we did what we did. But most notably, most recently, I've been the chairman of the Disputes Arbitration and Facilitation Committee of the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya. That was in 2017. And usually, you know, certain professionals are very prone to internal acrimony, fighting for space and for political positions. But I told them, there is no need for you to kill one another. Let us come together, calm down, let's have elections. And one of you will win. Whoever wins does not take away the profession. It still remains. So, in a way, I brought pharmacy into realization that the profession is theirs and they need to coexist harmoniously. And at this point in time, I was also a member of the Disputes Arbitration and Facilitation Committee, where we are trying to make sure that elections are actually held. Anyway, so the long and short of it, I've been trying to create opportunities for pharmacists. Of course, mentorship I didn't mention. That is like an obvious thing for me. I've been industry preceptor for a long time, for those 25 or so years. And I've always welcomed colleagues, younger colleagues to come to be trained under me so that at least we can inculcate certain positive attributes. One more thing that I want to remind ourselves is that in 1989, when I joined the council for the first time, we, together with Honorable Fellow Professor Francis Ndemo, came up with the idea of designating pharmacists doctors. You know, they used to be just Mr. and Ms. and so on. And their work was to carry cartons in the hospital, in the store, and dispense under the direct supervision and the instruction of the medical practitioners. And if I take you back, during our time, the choice program to go for, if you passed very highly, was pharmacy. When you come out, those you left behind are the ones giving you instructions. So we said, no. We are doctors. We'll take our oath. We'll take our position. As the Bible says, even in heaven, it is the violent who will take it by force. Professional space is not given. It is taken. So this is the message that we passed on to our colleagues. And those who understood, those who had ears, they heard, even up to this time.
Wow. Okay. Well, from our conversation, it seems like you have a wealth of experience. You've been chairman of so many boards.
Thanking God.
Indeed. And so, what would you like to see? Okay, what is your opinion on how training of pharmacy is currently in University of Nairobi, in Kenya at large, as well as how would you like to see it change for the better?
Yeah, well, I just mentioned that the training at the University of Nairobi is based on the 1957 Pharmacy and Poisons Ordinance, which is really borrowed from the British.
Yes.
The British have since moved on, but 50 years down the road, we are still insisting on B-Pharm of 1957, which we got from the British. They are now embraced the Master of Pharmacy program with the prescribing rights, full prescribing rights, inculcated into their curriculum. But for us, it is somewhere hidden in Section 31, subsection 2 of the Pharmacy and Poisons Act, Cap 244 of the laws of Kenya. As a lawyer, you would know this.
Yes.
So that is where it is. So why are we sticking or being so traditional, or I can say conservative, in the way we approach pharmacy? Now, the reason why UK has moved on is because the focus has shifted from product-based to patient-centered pharmaceutical care. So you ask yourself, what is it that we want to solve? What is the problem that we are solving with our training? You must have something you are solving. In the UK, they are solving problems for the patient. In the US, they are doing the same. But for us, we are still sticking to the academic track where you want to become an academician, do your master's and PhD, then you can keep your PhD on the wall. But what difference is the PhD making on the patient? By isolating a few compounds from a leaf, like this one around here, what difference does it make to the patient? So we need to ask ourselves one fundamental question. What problem is this curriculum solving for the patient? If there is none immediately coming to mind, then you are actually on the wrong track. So the simple answer is, if it is solving a problem, then you are doing well. So let me be less detailed in this by saying we need medication therapy monitoring or management. We need the Doctor of Pharmacy program. This is the direction. The Pharmacy and Poisons Board has put it in their strategic plan, 2020-2025. This is 2025. Can you tell me which university has started the PharmD program? If you know any.
I don't know.
So why are we celebrating 50 years then? What is there for the patient? This is the question we should ask ourselves. What has the patient, actually, when we celebrate, we should be dancing with the patients. So the patient should be celebrating. In fact, you should be interviewing patients. What have you benefited from the alumni of the University of Nairobi in terms of the chronic ailment that you have, the malaria that you have, the pediatric problem that is there, geriatric problems? So where is the solution? And it is time that we went for a rethink. Call the patients, call the consumers of these alumni, and call the academicians. Let them tell us what they are solving. Better still, get those who are in practice to come and train the future pharmacists. This is the point. Let them come, those who have experience with the patients, let them come and train. As opposed to going over and over the same information which is in textbooks. This is the change I would like to happen.
To see. Okay. And so tell us, I think it's what you've said just touches on your vision as well for the change of the practice in the pharmaceutical industry, in the pharmacy industry, sorry. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to your vision other than having a more patient-centered interaction and way of training?
Well, this is one area. I just touched on the academia space. Now, when you come to the manufacturing sector, where I've been for most of my working life, of course, the 34, 35 industries which are in the country have done a tremendous job. Tremendous job. They manufacture 90% of the items which are on the Kenya Essential Medicines list. 90% of the items. However, in terms of value, that accounts for just 30%. 70% imported. What we need to look at, we need to have an investment policy which will sort of attract investors into the manufacturing sector to cater for the therapeutic groups which are not covered and to cater for the high value items which are not catered for. That is one area. The second area which we need to look at, I will illustrate it with a very short example. During the COVID pandemic that we had some 5 years ago, African countries approached some of the multinational corporations which manufacture COVID vaccine, requesting to be given a voluntary license to come and manufacture the COVID vaccines in Africa. The multinational corporations refused. And they could not sell the vaccines to Africa until they had a surplus in their domestic market. So it is only by the grace of God that we survived that pandemic. So that brings us to the question as to whether our brains are actually working, we the Africans, we the Kenyans, we Dr. Atebe, and others. Why are we not engaging our brains, our minds into research? Why are we not going into the biotechnology space to manufacture the vaccines and other biosimilars? These are serious questions that we need to ask. It shows that either our attitudes are for dependency, where we depend on imported items, or we are simply not thinking. As you know, thinking is a painful process. So we need appropriate policies. We need professionals who are serious about research and transformative research which can solve problems. You remember, we are solving problems. That is our business. There is a problem, you provide a solution. And now, biotechnology is our issue. So yes, we need to look into the biotechnology space. That is our problem at this point in time. Generics, me too, yes, we can manufacture anytime. But biotechnology is the issue. We need to work on it.
Then how do you propose that we get there?
Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to have those with similar vision so that we come together, and no single person is going to be able to do it unless we have a multidisciplinary approach, multi-sectoral approach. So you need policy. You need the regulators. For example, if you look at the policy, we look at the industrialization policy, you look at the health policy of the country, you make a decision, which direction are we taking this country? Then you come to the aspect of saying, where are the technocrats? Where are the scientists? Will they be able to implement? You look at the issue of incentives for investment. Do we have the necessary incentives for investment? Do we have affordable financing for the investment? So you can't say that one individual is going to solve the problem. You need all the sectors to come together, probably not even in Kenya only, because when you set up here in the country, even if it is for the active pharmaceutical ingredients, you need a market. In Kenya, we have 50 million people. In East Africa, we have probably 100. In the Eastern Africa region, we have 300. In Africa, we are going close to 1 billion. So when you are talking about a market which is going to sustain the investment, then you cannot afford to think narrow. You think broadly. But as you think broadly, you need to develop linkages so that you can move together with the rest of the region. So I did mention an aspect about the APIs. Currently, we import 100% of the active pharmaceutical ingredients that we use in the pharmaceutical industry, and even part of the packaging materials, ancillary industry. So moving forward, of course, if the government can incentivize those who would like to join into this manufacturing sector, then definitely we'll be able to solve this biotechnology problem, this API problem, and even to address the issues relating to cancer therapies, which are a big problem, and perhaps you know that cancer drugs are one of the most expensive. Why? Because all of them are imported, they are manufactured, just like the COVID vaccine. All of them come from outside. So what should we do? Let's put our heads together, all of us, all Kenyans, or let me say all right-thinking people who would like to help and solve a problem which is there, and then we solve it.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we're coming to the end of our interview. And so perhaps you can let us know, what would you like to be remembered for? Your particular impact.
As one person? Yes, you can remember one person as well. Yeah, when you hear the phrase Rogers Atebe, it is important to associate it with something. If it is not associated with anything, then you did not exist upon the face of the earth. You just like the wind, you passed by. Yeah, so first and foremost, if most recent events are anything to go by, from the beginning, I did mention as a student, I brought the programs together. When there were big issues, the PSK taking ministry to court, this one to court, everything, litigation and fighting. I was not asked by anyone to go and call Dr. Monique, the president of PSK. I was not asked by anyone to go and talk to the CEO of the board. I went out of my own volition. Because what was happening was wrong. So I talked to them until we arrived at an out-of-court settlement. The lawyers had to write for us that we have now agreed that we are not going to pursue this matter in court, because I took a personal initiative. I took it to the CS for health, the then Dr. Cleopa Mailu. He gave it to his legal people and they went and sorted it out in court. That is an achievement, I feel, that was worthwhile for us. Then we had some peace and we could now focus on developing the profession. Secondly, along the same track, in 2017 when there were issues of elections, it is Dr. Atebe who chaired the Disputes Arbitration and Facilitation Committee. And we managed to settle the matter without it going to court. 2024, there is also another problem looming. This time, Dr. Atebe is a member. Well, those are issues relating to peaceful coexistence. If you come on landmark issues where you can see footprints, you go to Kisii University. We didn't have a school of pharmacy there. Now we have it, courtesy of yours truly. Of course, working with the others. You see, the kind of experience we have had in terms of managing this space, professional space, is such that you cannot work alone. we have to work in teams, teams which are multidisciplinary. And how you get these teams pulling this way, another one pulling that way, this. So it requires divine intervention also, and inspiration, guidance, to be able to bring those teams together to produce a school of pharmacy. We can produce anything. I did mention that we worked at Dawa Limited to revive it. And this, again, I say, is divine intervention for me. You're right. So you cannot remember Dr. Atebe without saying it is God who did it, because I have no power. If God decides to subtract his power, then the answer is zero. So I acknowledge that whatever I will be remembered for is because of God's grace. And that is the message. Thank you.
Okay. Now, finally, if you have any words of congratulations, any message of congratulations, and best wishes to the University of Nairobi Pharmacy alumni as they celebrate 50 years, and others as they might start their training, or others as they look forward to joining the school in the future. Please, share it with us.
Thank you. Of course, I would like to appreciate that this is not a moment of just celebration. It is a moment to remember the enormous effort that went into the establishment of this school. If we didn't mention people like Dr. Albert Matheng, former chief pharmacist, the first African chief pharmacist, if we didn't mention Dominic Karanja, Doctor, Honorable Fellow, we didn't mention Professor Maitai, Professor Gichuru Muriuki, and so on, then we would not be celebrating. We must celebrate with those who did the heavy lifting. We must remember them first before we start even dancing. We remember, where did this come from? If we would do that, then we would be on the way to celebration. What did they do? Honoring the founding fathers, our grandparents. I was in the 7th class, but I do appreciate that there are those who established it for me to be able to study. And those are the people I honor today. The first appreciation, congratulations, goes to the founders. Secondly, to those who sustained it. All of them, since 1974 to date. Thirdly, those who have been innovative, improving. Now we have masters and so on, PhDs and everything. Yes, we celebrate those ones. And finally, the rest of us who have had the courage to go through the School of Pharmacy, University of Nairobi, me included. So once again, congratulations to all stakeholders who have been in this process for the last 50 years, and even those who supported. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. Hope you have a lovely evening.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Nimemaliza.